Hello people, StrangeTemplar here, welcome back to Minecraft Feed the Beast. Last episode we got ourselves a little bit of an automatic bee sorting system for our apiaries here. And, well, I have something to, and we decided to breed a lot of more cows. A lot of cows. Anyways, we made a little bit of a mistake here. Remember how I said we were going to use the diamond pipe in place of the apiarist pipes before we, as kind of a fill-in? Well, let me tell you a little bit of a problem. Let me go ahead and search for drones here. So here's the thing. I believe that the way the diamond transport pipe works is that it looks at the ID of the bees. And I don't know, let me go through here real quick. Do you guys see a little bit of a problem? That's right, every single drone has the ID of 13340. And every princess is 13341. So, when it was hitting this diamond transport pipe, it had no idea which way to send the bees, so it just sent it randomly, because bees are sorted completely different. They're all exactly the same, whether it was a unusual, or a meadows, or a rocky, or whatever, they all work exactly the same as far as the diamond transport pipe was concerned. So we did have a little bit of a problem, where the Rockies and the bees got a little freaky together, and they decided to make themselves some hybrid bees. And we have one common drone right now. I'm trying to get myself a common princess as well, so we've just kind of been breeding those in the off time. And so basically that's been a problem. I have these automatic sorting systems off right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these diamond transport pipes, and I'm going to show you the real proper way to get this done. So we're going to take these. I did go ahead and get some propolis finally, so we can actually show this. And here's my crafting bench. What we do is we take the diamond transport pipe like we normally have and put propolis on the either side of them. And we get ourselves some apiarist pipes, which are basically, you know what, let's sleep in our bed real quick. I wish there was just a way to say, you know what, make it daytime without going into cheat mode. Just, snap your fingers and all of a sudden it's daytime. Or something like that. Anyways, we have ourselves our apiarist pipes, which we're going to put right back in place of those diamond pipes that we just took off. And they look pretty much exactly the same, except they're a different color. But if you right-click on it, you'll see a little bit of a different interface. So for blue, what we have right here is mystical princesses that we want to keep sorted. So we're going to go to blue, and we're going to say any bees that are in the mystical and mystical, and we can leave that one. So basically any bees. You could also do any drones, any princesses, queens, any purebred bees, any nocturnal. So you can go by the types of bees that we have. Strong flyers, pure flyers, cave dwellers, natural, I don't know what that is. But we want any bees of the mystical variety to go in this pipe right here. So we can go ahead and turn that on. And green, we're going to say anything goes in here. And I think you can say any combs as well. Or items. Or no, we're just going to say anything. Okay, and then for red, we have ourselves attuned princesses. So we're going to say for red, any bees that are in the attuned category. Right there. And attuned. Perfect. So now we can flip this one back on. And so anytime these guys run out, it should... Wait, why did that go there? That's not where it's supposed to go. Okay, let's double check this. And perfect. Okay. And I can't throw that back in, unfortunately. But that should work for us. And then all the mundane combs go back in there. For this, we're going to go back to meadows. However, my meadows princess got a little freaky with their Rocky, as we well know. And so this is no longer purebred anything. So we're going to keep those separate from our purebred bees. Eventually, I'll find us another meadow princess and get it. I always want to keep at least one purebred of every type. and then once we get extras, we can go ahead and crossbreed. So this this system isn't going to work over on this side, but it should be working just fine over on the other side, hopefully. We have 4 mundane combs in here. We'll just wait and see what happens once we get done with the rest of this episode. Now, another problem. We're going to step away from bees for one quick second, and then we'll go back to it at the end. But this is something that's kind of important that we need to get done right away, or as soon as possible anyways. We're running out of storage very quickly, having 2 quarries running, throwing stuff in. Actually, there's nothing going in right now because I just loaded into the game. If I go into age 2, it'll get those quarries running again. And basically, we're coming into a storage problem. And I'll show you what's going on. We have 14,000 dirt blocks. We have 12,000 cobblestone. But if you look, I've been compressing a lot of cobblestone. So we have 3 times. So that's 19,000 right there. That's another 81 times 163. We have a ton of cobblestone that I've just been compressing to make room. Basically what I do is, you take a 9x9 and you make yourself some cobblestone. And now that saves a lot of space. But with all this dirt and whatnot, we kind of need to get that flushed out of our system. There's no reason for us to have 14,000 dirt blocks at all. I mean, I guess maybe if I wanted to make a world, a whole planet made out of dirt, we'd be set. But, I mean, look how quickly the dirt and the cobblestone is just coming in to this system. So that's something that we need to get taken care of. So what we're going to do, one way to do this is we're going to make ourselves, first of all, a compressor, which electronic circuit, machine block in the middle, and then smooth stone on the side. That gets us a compressor. Epic squeeze. You can use the compressor to get ourselves nether brick out of netherrack, stuff like that. We can compress, I think you can compress gravel into cobblestone, stuff like that. Nothing all that exciting. But what we're going to do with it is make ourselves a recycler. Which requires a compressor, like so. Put it in the middle. We put dirt, like so. Refined iron in the bottom corners. We put glowstone dust on top. And that gets us a nice little recycler. Now what this recycler is going to do, and what I did off camera, is I set up our solar panel in our, not our applied energistics, our industrial craft. Our industrial craft is all set up and back to working. And basically, our solar panel is powering our bat box right here. And then our bat box is sending the power to our different devices. But what we're going to do with those devices, if everything goes according to plan, is we are going to import, and I went ahead and made these off camera because you don't really need these. So we're going to put an export bus right there. We're going to put an import bus underneath, and we want to make sure that it's touching the top. And let me go ahead and get that out of the way. Okay, touch the top. Perfect. And then we need some ME cables. Not the drives. ME cables. Right there. Thank you very much. And then we just plug this all in and connect it right there. And what we're going to do is we're going to say dirt. We want dirt to get transferred into our... That's not the recycler. That is not the recycler. That's the macerator. Okay, never mind. That's not what we want. That is not at all what we want, and I think we did it wrong anyways. Okay, 1 second here. Let's take those back, and we're going to put it right here. So we want... Okay, export. And I want to make sure this does it right. So, actually we can get rid of that one. We might have to move our power cabling for this. Okay, import bus. And now we can say, I want to export dirt. Yep. And so what that's going to do is it's just going to keep this full of dirt. And the recycler is going to, actually, let me go ahead and get that away from the recycler real quick. Basically, what the recycler does is it destroys whatever item is in here one at a time, and every item has a 1 in 8 chance of producing scrap when it's destroyed. So what we have here is scrap. So this is basically a way of destroying unneeded and unwanted stuff. It does take industrial craft power. I keep wanting to say industrial energetics or something like that. Industrial craft power. But what it'll do is it'll just start making the scrap out of our dirt. Slowly, it's just going to be... It's not even going to get rid of it as fast as we're getting it in, but it's just going to help mitigate some of that incoming stuff. And with that scrap, later on, we'll be able to make it into... well, let me show you. With that scrap, we can make... we can make... No, not how to make it. Uses. Wait for it. It's thinking. It's thinking. We can use it as fuel in any kind of system. We can use it for furnaces. We can use it for generators. All that good stuff. We can also, if we get a 3x3 block, we can use it to make a scrap box, which is basically, when you use it, it will create one item of some random thing. It could be something as cool as a diamond or an emerald, or it could be as crappy as a stone hoe. You know, all that good stuff. You can use it as fertilizer, but you can also use it in a mass fabricator to amplify the... well, we haven't really gotten into a mass fabricator, which we're going to get eventually, once we get more power and stuff. This takes 166,000 EU to make, and I just want to point out that this thing right now is currently storing 40. So it'd take more than 4 bat boxes worth of power just to do one operation on that mass fabricator. So we're nowhere near being able to do that, but basically we'll be able to create our own matter and use that matter to create diamonds and emeralds and glowstone and all the stuff that we want, really. And this will just slowly be... Okay, you'll see that it's definitely not covering it at all, but it's just a way to kind of help mitigate all of our incoming stuff and just to kind of keep everything from overflowing a little bit. I am trying to keep our storage up to date as much as possible, but, you know, it's kind of a losing battle right now with 2 quarries going, and they're not even going at full speed. They're not even going at quarter speed yet. So storage is definitely going to be an issue later on. But the recycler, once we get that super powered and all that good stuff, is going to help mitigate our storage problems a little bit. The next thing I want to do, returning back to bees, is make ourselves a couple of cool devices here. One thing that we need to do is get rid of this recipe. We were making some more impregnated casings for the... so we can make some more apiaries. But what I want to do is fill this up with water, like so, and we're going to make ourselves a beealyzer and an apiarist database, which requires some glass panes, gold, tin, emerald, and diamond. So it is a little bit expensive, but it is definitely worth the cost. And what we want to do is we want to put all the resources in the carpenter once we program in our recipe. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's going to say we don't have the resources that we need. And so now you'll see it says, it shows you what it's going to make right there. And we want to put that in, and it's slowly going to work. And notice that I used water instead of seed oil. Seed oil is used to make impregnated casings. Water is used to make these and a bunch of other stuff. So you want to really pay attention to what liquid you're using as well. Otherwise, it's not going to work well at all. And I have the pipettes to move the liquids around if I need to. So there we go. We have ourselves an apiarist database. I keep wanting to call it a data bank. And then what we do is we put it like that, and we put our tin like so, and I need one more tin or this isn't going to work. And we need more water. We need more water. Oh no, there's water. Okay, I was going to say, why is it using all the water? Should only use 1 bucket of water per operation. And so we need a little bit more tin. That's not how you spell tin. Nope, not tin or berries. 10. Perfect. Okay. Real quick, let's throw that in there, and this should work. Nope, we need a little bit more water. Okay, awesome. Let's go get ourselves some water real quick, and we'll make it work. Alright, so we're back with water. And what we can do is we can fill our water in, and it should, at some point, start working. What are we? Oh, we're missing our redstone. That's what we're missing. Dang it! I knew we were missing redstone. I used the redstone for the compressor is what I used for. I had it all set aside, and then I'm like, no, I need to get our storage figured out. And yeah, totally forgot to do that. Anyways, so we have ourselves a beealyzer going. And while that's being made, let me show you this apiarist database. Basically what it does is it finds every single bee that we've found so far, and it tells us everything that we want to know about it. So if we click meadows, it'll show us Apis florea, discovered by Sengir, who is the programmer of forestry and the bees, what stuff. And I don't know what that stuff means. It basically tells you a little bit. It's a slow speed. It has a shorter lifespan. It always has 2 children. It doesn't create as many flowers. Sunlight required, rain not tolerated. Basically, and it'll tell you what it produces. It'll tell you where it can live, temperature-wise and climate-wise, or rainfall-wise. Mutations, what it can mutate into, and what it mutates from, and what it can mutate into. And what it'll say is, okay, we know that the meadows will combine with some undiscovered species to create some other discovered species. So we'll see right here, common. We can say rocky plus meadows equals common. Some discovered species, so something that we know plus meadows will become something else that we know, which is probably going to be common. So usually these commons plus meadows equals something else. Or commons plus tropical plus meadows is equal to commons. Anyways, it'll tell you. So common here, it will show that if we go down here somewhere, meadows plus rocky equals common. And then all these other combinations will make common. Basically, all basic bees, if you do 2 separate types of bees, will turn into common. But common will turn into a whole bunch of other crap. And basically, this is the very first mutation in bees. And then they become a whole bunch crazier later on. But, you know, that'll show us our basic bee stuff. With our beealyzer, let me grab that. And do we have any honey? No, let's go grab some combs and get ourselves some honey. Really quick. Let's sleep real quick as well. Because those spiders are going to beat me when we get out there. But that's okay. That's okay. What we're going to do is find those bees that we've been playing around with mutating. Oh, ender tots. There it is. Told you that spider. Those spiders love hanging out right above my face. And that's where the solar panel is, for those of you guys who were wondering. Okay, what we're going to do is... Okay, so the combs are working just fine. And this should take all those bees out and put them right back in. And once the princess goes in, perfect. Awesome. And then the comb should come out and back in. Awesome. This is working perfect. This is exactly what we wanted with our life. Okay. So let's go throw our combs into the centrifuge. And then I'll show you the cool stuff that we can do. Centrifuge. I just need 1 honey drop for now. That's all I need. 1 honey drop. But I'll take a couple. Because, hey, you can never have too much honey, right? And now that it's raining outside, our bees aren't going to do much of anything. But that's okay. Okay, 3 is going to be plenty. More than enough. To show you what I want to do. We're going to take those mutated bees that we've been playing around with. Right here. And let's see, we'll take the common drone, we'll take a meadows, and we'll take the rocky princess. What we'll do is, you take our beealyzer, and we put honey drops right here. And what you'll do is you take your common drone, and what it'll do is it will use 1 honey drop, and it'll tell you everything about this one specific bee, which is different than the apiarist database. It'll tell you about the species as a whole. This bee, though, will have traits inherited from its parents. So the active stuff is what it's doing right now. I really don't understand the active and inactive genes. If you guys know genetics and all that good stuff, this is going to make complete sense to you. But for me, I have no idea what I'm doing. Basically what I know is I have a common drone with a little bit of meadows in it. If I find another common drone with a little bit of meadows, there's a chance that it'll stay common. There's a chance that it'll turn into a meadows. There's a chance that it'll have some mutation that common and meadows have in common. But I don't understand any of that. It'll tell you the climate, normal, humidity, diurnal, I don't know what that means. Nocturnal, if they can work at night, no. It's a flyer, which I'm not entirely sure what it means. And cave, it can't work in a cave. This will tell you what it can produce. This will tell you what it can mutate into, or what it mutates from. And no, I don't know. This will tell you a lot of mutation stuff and how common or uncommon they are. And there's just a ton of stuff that you can do with these bees. Like I said, it gets really complicated really quickly. And then we can go in and we can get our Rocky Princess, which is going to use another honey drop, and you'll see everything is pretty much a purebred Rocky at this point, except flowers are flowers and rocks. You got flowers from the meadows a couple generations ago. Humidity tolerance is a little bit different. It's a flyer, it's a caver, I don't understand any of this stuff. You can make a Rocky Princess that produces like water combs if you wanted. I'm not sure why you would want to, but you could. And then meadows and meadows, which you got the slower from the caves, the slowest from the meadows. And so this one could work in caves if we wanted it to, which I'm not sure exactly why we want it to. So you can see, like, the mutations get really crazy really quickly. So there's a lot to keep in mind there. And none of the mutated ones will stack on top of each other unless they're identical in every single aspect. You cannot stack bees together. So once I get a solid strain of something, usually like common or something, once they start stacking together, I try to breed them out so that they all have exactly the same characteristics within that class. That way I can start, stacking them like this and then looping them through. So like I said, there is a lot to get done with bees. I think we've been working on bees for 3 or 4 episodes now, and we're just now scratching the surface of what we can do with it. We have ourselves apiarist machines. We can build ourselves actually, let's go ahead and I'll show you one quick way. Because there's no good way to store bees, what we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves an apiarist machine, which requires bronze and copper. We can do that real quick. Copper and tin. Not Tom. We don't need Tom. We need tin. Okay. Like so. And we need 2 bronze to make ourselves a sturdy casing, which is different from an impregnated casing. And we need copper. Like so. And we need glass. To make it not a centrifuge. What do we need? Redstone. My bad. Redstone. Like so. That'll get us an apiarist machine. And with that, you're going to make yourselves an indexer. Indexer. Which requires a diamond, an apiarist machine, which we just made, and a whole bunch of chests. So chests, we can go like so. It's going to need a diamond because it's expensive. And finally, redstone at the bottom. This is an indexer, which basically is a chest that can hold an infinite amount of bees forever. So like we have all these bees that don't stack together. But even like it'll hold drones, princesses, it will hold everything. But if you try to put anything else in, like buckets, combs, nothing. All it'll hold is bees, but it will hold an infinite amount. And you can sort them by species, type, so you can do species, so meadows, commons, steadfast, by type, whether it's queens, princesses, or drones. There's some different ways to sort it that way. But basically, that's our way that we're going to store all our excess bees. And eventually, we're going to have so many bees that we don't know what to do with, most of which are going to be drones, and we're probably going to throw them into the recycler to get scrap out of them, because there's not much else we can do. Well, actually, we'll turn them into sludge, actually, which sounds disgusting. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then it sounds disgusting. If you do know what I'm talking about, then it sounds exciting. And but that's basically where we're going to get started with everything. So we don't need a pattern chest. But yeah, that's how we're going to start storing our bees. And yeah, that's about it for this episode, guys. Like I said, we're just barely touching the surface of bees. Like I said, there's so much to do. I'm going to do a lot of the mutations and stuff, trying to get purebred stuff done off camera, because it's a lot of just waiting. We do have some oblivion frames, which are ways to kill off bees instantly and get the resultant mutations, but that can get a little crazy quickly. So I try not to do that I try to do that as little as possible. But with that, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. Like I said, we are just barely touching the surface of what we can do with bees, and I'm probably going to move away a little bit from bees here in the next couple episodes and just kind of work on some other stuff while our bees are still building and working up. So if you see us going a little off of bees for a little bit, don't be worried. We'll get back to it eventually. But like I said, it's a huge time commitment and a huge power commitment. So I'm going to kind of get other stuff going on the time. On the side while we wait for that stuff to happen. So guys, as always, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like and or subscribe button if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time. But until next time, don't be a stranger and take care.